Collapse. It has begun. Not with a bang, but with the pathetic, muffled sound of knives being slid between the shoulder blades of a government that is already dead on arrival. They promised you competence. They promised you a return to seriousness after years of chaos. They promised you a government of grown-ups. And now, barely a year into their reign of error, the entire rotten edifice is crumbling into dust before our very eyes. While Keir Starmer's hand-picked cabinet of mediocrities and schemers are locked in a death struggle for power inside Number 10, fighting like rats in a sack over the spoils of a victory they never earned, there is only one terrifying question that matters: who is actually running our country? Because it certainly isn't the man who promised you integrity. It isn't the man who stood on the steps of Downing Street and pledged stability. The lights are on, but the bridge is unmanned. The engine room is in flames. And we are all trapped on board, heading for the rocks. You will not hear the truth on the BBC. Their courtier journalists will call this a squabble. They will frame it as a teething problems for a new administration. They will tell you it's a Westminster bubble story, a bit of political theatre that has no bearing on your life, your bills, or your safety. That is a lie. A calculated, deliberate, insulting lie designed to keep you docile while the ship of state sinks with a weakling at the helm. This isn't a mistake. This is the public unveiling of a profound and ongoing betrayal. They never had a plan for the country. They only had a plan to get power. And now they have it, they don't have the first clue what to do with it, other than to turn on each other in a frenzy of paranoia and ambition. The chaos you are witnessing is not a bug in the system, it is the system itself, orchestrated by Keir Starmer's chief of staff, his Rasputin, Morgan McSweeney. The Prince of Darkness who sees governing and campaigning as the same thing. And what is their permanent campaign? To smear their own cabinet ministers. To brief against their own health secretary. To create phantom leadership plots to shore up a prime minister so fragile, so utterly devoid of authority, that he can't even command the loyalty of his own office. This isn't governance. It is a hostage situation. And you, the British people, are the hostages, trapped in the back of a getaway car driven by joyriders who are fighting over the steering wheel as it careers towards a cliff edge. They are creating this chaos as a smokescreen, a diversion, while they prepare their real agenda, the final surrender of our economy to net zero fanaticism and the quiet transfer of our remaining sovereignty to their globalist masters in Brussels and Davos. This is the great and terrible two-tier system of Starmer's Britain laid bare. In their world, the rarefied world of the political elite, the most pressing national issue is whether West Streeting is on maneuvers for the leadership. Their days are consumed with whispered briefings in wood-panelled rooms, plotting over expensive lunches at the Wolseley, deciding who gets the promotion and who gets the knife. They are insulated by their taxpayer-funded salaries, their grace and favour homes, and their unshakable belief that they are born to rule. They are playing a sick, self-indulgent Game of Thrones, funded by your Labour. And in your world? The real world they fly over in helicopters? While they play their games, the British family is being systematically dismantled. The pensioner, who built this country, sits in a cold home, terrified of the smart meter, forced to choose between heating and eating because of their green taxes. The British veteran, who fought for this country, sleeps rough on the streets of the cities he once defended, forgotten by the state, while military-aged men who arrived here illegally are housed in 4-star hotels at your expense. The young couple, who want to build a future in this country, see the dream of home ownership turn to dust, priced out of their own hometowns by mass immigration and a planning system that works only for developers. The British farmer, the custodian of our green and pleasant land, is driven towards bankruptcy, undercut by cheap, substandard food imports from trade deals that are a national humiliation, a total betrayal of our standards and our food security. They have one rule for themselves, insulated and secure. And another, much harsher rule, for you. Their priority is power. Your priority is survival. And they do not care if their narcissistic games lead to your ruin. They are counting on you being too exhausted, too ground down by the daily struggle they've created, to ever fight back. The arch-villain in this sorry saga is, of course, Sir Keir Starmer himself. The great saviour. The man of integrity. What a devastating, unforgivable fraud he has been exposed as. He is a hollow man. A political vacuum. A captain who has not only lost control of his ship but seems to be actively helping the mutineers drill holes in the hull. This is the man who, as Director of Public Prosecutions, presided over a system that failed victims of grooming gangs and chased journalists while letting genuine criminals walk free. He has always been a servant of the establishment, never a champion of the people. And now, his weakness is on full public display. We are told he had to personally apologize to his own health secretary for a vicious smear campaign that originated inside his own office. We are told by his own allies, his supposed friends like Ed Miliband, that Starmer would sack the person responsible, if only he could find them. In his own office. This isn't a demonstration of strength, it is the most humiliating admission of weakness a prime minister could possibly make. He is a prisoner in his own government, a puppet whose strings are being pulled by unaccountable backroom dealers like McSweeney. He is a coward, presiding over a cabinet of schemers, and the entire country is now paying the price for his unforgivable lack of leadership. And who is the hero they fear? The establishment has accidentally revealed him. In his panic, Tony Blair's own master of the dark arts, Alastair Campbell, let the mask slip. He squealed on television that if Starmer doesn't get a grip, he risks losing power to one man, Nigel Farage. He warned, with a tremor in his voice, that Farage would take the country to a very dark place. A dark place for whom, Alastair? A dark place for the out-of-touch, self-serving elite you represent. A dark place for the globalist project that has brought this country to its knees? Because for millions of patriotic Britons, that dark place sounds an awful lot like a return to sanity. A return to common sense. A return to a Britain that puts its own people first. They are not afraid of Farage. They are afraid of you. They are terrified that the people have finally realised the uniparty of Labour and the Conservatives is two wings of the same broken bird, and that the only true opposition speaks for the silent, betrayed majority. The game is up. The illusion has been shattered. The promise of a new dawn under Starmer has revealed itself to be a long, dark, chaotic night of infighting, incompetence, and national humiliation. The establishment's greatest fear is coming true. Their project is failing, their lies are exposed, and the people are stirring. As this government of cowards and careerists consumes itself in flames, the real question isn't whether they will survive, but who will rise from the ashes to finally speak for Britain. When the history of this national betrayal is written, when our children ask how our great country was brought so low, will the record show that you stood by and did nothing? They want you to feel helpless. They want you to believe nothing can change. Do not give them the satisfaction. The fight for the soul of our country is happening right now. This is our digital frontline. Every share is a message to the elite that we are not beaten. Let them hear our voice in the comments below. Let them know that we are watching, and we will not be silenced. What do you believe is the real reason for this unforgivable chaos? Tell me. Now.